Hello guys, we are ready for the next part. In the last part we looked at how to fill in the thumbnails with drawing. We tried to experiment with how could the character look within these boundaries of the thumbnail that we already found out. This means that we should pick one after we have been working with this. You can try to experiment even more. I didn't go that much into detail with this one. But now I'm going to select one, and then I'm gonna try to define the face a bit more. So let's jump right into it. Yeah, so what I will start out by doing is I would like to make a general head shape that I can then reuse and kind of draw inside of that every time, because this makes it faster for me to just draw the different facial features. And when I say facial features, I'm thinking about how low should the eyes be, how should the nose look, and how should the shapes be in general. I mean, on the mouth, for example, and the beard. That's also why I don't. I just need some music. That's also why I don't. Yeah, sorry about that. That's also why I don't draw in the beard, because I want to try different shapes with the beard as well. So I had this idea that he could have a pointy nose as well, and maybe it could be wide where it connects to the face. So I just tried to draw that out, kind of like an animal or something like that. But it would be still the pointy shape that we see in his hat. And I generally like that idea. I tried with a mouth that was small, so I don't think I will be going that way, because I like the big mouth, and I like that it kind of reminds me of Wallace and Gromit and those kind of stuff. That kind of stuff. I'm trying to add some more details. I want him to be a bit old. That's why I'm adding in the wrinkles, of course. And then I'm adding in some pupils and trying to find out how the beard should connect to the face. So I realized that it was kind of hard to see how the nose was formed in this view, so I drew it from the side as well, just to get an idea about how it looks. So at this point I decided that I wanted at least 4 variations of the head, and then from those I would pick one that I liked, or pick some features that I liked in the faces, and then make a final front and side view of the face. And that is going to be handy when I'm going to do the rendering and the line drawing, because I exactly know how he would look in 3D. But it will also be handy when I'm going to do him in 3D, because I already got the front and side view of him. Here I'm trying to add really big eyes to him. I want to see how it looks with really big eyes. And the thing I'm doing here as well is I'm adding asymmetrical things in his face. I'm making one eye a lot bigger than the other eye. And as I said earlier, this is something we have in real life. And it's over-exaggerated here, but it can add so much to the character. It will give it a more living feel if the sides is not really symmetrical. You might not notice it when you look at it, but it will just give the feeling of it being a living thing. I think that's a general problem in 3D, that the face is exactly the same on each side most of the time. And I mean, why would you have that? In reality it's really different. And especially on old people. You should try look a bit for it. It's crazy how old people look. One thing I forgot to mention is that I added some more straight lines in the beard just to see how it looks, and I think I actually like it. I think yeah, I'm also be going with that in the end, just because I like it that it's really different from what I normally see, and it fits with his character to be kind of pointy and not too smooth and curved. So here I'm trying something really different. I'm trying a beard that has straights and curves. I'm trying to get the same shape into the nose, and his eyes is really low with a big forehead, meaning that he's a probably wise guy or something like that. Oh, I like that face as well. I like the way the ears are on that one. And you can see I try to work a bit back and forth, working on some of the other shapes as well, or the earlier shapes you can say. So I found out that I needed this thing on the lower lip, and I don't know why, but that's something guys have. There's like a bare space where there's no beard. I think I have it as well. So I'm gonna try one more, and I'm gonna make the eyes really squarish, and this already kind of adds to a facial expression. I'm trying with the beard in a way where it's very round and around the head. And I mean, I like the way that this beard is, but I don't think it fits my character. And you can see I'm keeping some of the elements, the shape lines, and then I'm adding curves to the brows, simply to have this straight versus curve thing, to give a bit of contrast to the faces. So I decided that there's some stuff that I liked, and there's some stuff that I'm going to use in my character, and I'm going to combine some of the stuff and try to make it look good and try to achieve something that I can be happy with on the face. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a sketch of the head from the front with the features that I like, and then I'm going to do a side view as well. And I'm going to do this because, yeah, as I said earlier, it will give you a nice feeling of the 3D form. I'm adding in the head. I'm just making a quick sketch on the head so I can fill in the details of general head shape. So I mean, this is the same method you would probably use if you were doing a turnaround. And if you're going to make this character in 3D, you should make a turnaround. And a turnaround includes at least a front and side view. You can also make a 3/4 view. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to make a pose where you can see the character in. And that kind of works like a 3-point view, because if you just draw him from the front, it would be a bit boring. And I also don't want that in my final image, so I'm just gonna add in a 3-point view as the character actually standing there in some way. But I'm going to make a turnaround. I'm going to make a front view and a side view. I'm not going to show that in this video because it's simply the same as this, so you can do it yourself, and then it will be okay. I mean, you don't have to do it more complicated than it already is. And I might as well say this now. If you have any questions, you feel free to send me an email at 3d.deje@gmail.com. So feel free to to send me email. I mean, one thing that people in general forget, at least that I think, is the eyebrows can have a shape too. I mean, everything can have a shape, the ears. So you need to find out what kind of ears should my character have, what would fit him, what would fit design-wise and character-wise. And you can see that I'm using these round ears, and I'm also using the round eyes. And then I want to add a bit of straight of curve into the eyebrows. And you can see on the lower part I have one straight and one other straight going down, and then on top it's kind of curved. Yeah, you can see better on the new one I did. And that, I think, it adds in some way to the character, because you get these funny looking things instead of a generic eyebrow. You could just add the eyebrow that you add on every character, but I mean, in real life people have different eyebrows. So that's something to consider. I'm trying to refine the eyes a bit. He looks like a psycho right now with those eyes. But I think it's going to help when I add in the smile or the mouth or something like that. I try to indicate how the beard is looking, what will go out of it, what will be in front of the other things. I'm not really happy with that, so I'm gonna erase that. And yeah, I'm adding in an earring. But basically his head is just a cylinder with a spike on top of it. And I mean, you can do so many different things within this face. It's crazy, so the possibility is endless. And that, I believe, is also a cool thing, because you can just make so many unique characters. You don't have to settle on anything. And I mean, that's what we're trying to do, make something unique. Sometimes I see people make designs, and for me it just feels wrong the way they did it, but I think they really like it. So that's really weird, because I think that people in some way have different ideas about good design. Some people really like one design, but then other people don't. But I also think that in general people have an idea of what they like as a design and character. There are some common things that people like. So if you're really good at making common things, you could be a really good designer. Not said that you should make designs that you tone down. I think you can make extreme designs, but are also very friendly for people and fits the way you want the characters to be. And you can see that I have made some choices around the beard. I really like the way that this beard is. And I also made some asymmetry in the ears. You can see one ear is bigger, and also it sits further down on the face. And I'm probably going to add more in the 3D model later on. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take down some lines, some rulers, to indicate the features of the face. So I'm putting one at the eyes and the nose and the mouth and the beard and the top of the head and stuff like that. And this is just to use as a reference when I'm now drawing the side view. And this is really good, because then you can kind of get the features right. But even though you're doing this, you will probably find some of the features that doesn't fit the character. Because it's so hard to make a front and side view. Even when you have photographs, you will find something that doesn't fit. But this is also a good thing when you're doing the side view, because you force yourself to think about something you wouldn't think about otherwise. I mean, how should the nose look, and how should the face in general have? How should the nose bridge be? And how should the bear actually look from the side? That's why this is a very good thing to do. And how should the mouth be? I mean, you might not think about it, but there's a ton of ways that this could be as well. Especially the nose bridge. I mean, that could have a lot of special features, or I don't know, it could be very different from person to person. It is in reality, so that would add as well to the character. I think way too few people think about these things when they're making characters. They just use the general shape of thing on their character. So here I'm trying to make a nose bridge actually, and at this point I could try out different stuff as well here, but I already feel like I have such a special nose that the nose bridge kind of just have to fit in with this nose. Yeah, I think I mentioned earlier that I really have a problem with eyes. And there's a really special way to draw the eyes. I will not come in on that subject in this video, but there are so many ways that you could actually draw an eye. The beauty of Photoshop. You can move things. So you can already begin to see the similarities between the different drawings, and I can actually see a mistake. The nose on the side view is a bit more up than on the front view. This also allows you to think about how his hair in the neck should be, and does he actually have hair? I think I don't really got hair in the front view, but his beard will kind of go up into the hair. I mean, it's also easy to look at the hat and see how is the hat looking from the front. But when you look at it from the side, it looks totally different. I think maybe I discovered the nose thing. Yeah, I did. And I'm just gonna finish this in a couple of moments. But I think you get the general idea about making these drawings. So I would definitely recommend that you do a front view and side view of the whole character. But it's a good idea just to start with the face before we do this posing and turnaround. In the next part, we're going to look at posing. We need to find a nice pose that fits the character as well. And that's going to be pretty interesting. We're going to do it in the same way where we start out with a thumbnail, because it's easy to work small and you can try out a lot of stuff without going into detail, and then work bigger and try to refine and shape things in. So that's the general plan. In this tutorial we learned how to try out different facial features and how to make the front and side view. Here I'm just checking in the end if everything fits and adding in a bit. But that's it for this time. The next video is going to be awesome, so don't go anywhere. See you in a moment.